Hey guys, King Kaiju here. Today we're going to be doing another Kaiju review. This one is on yet another Ultraman monster, as you've seen by the thumbnail and title, and it is Maga-Jappa. That's probably about as good as framing as I'm going to get for this monster, because he's a fairly big figure. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. This is another Ultra Monster DX Kaiju from Ultraman Orb, and I really like his design, and whenever I was buying Zegan, I also saw him from the same seller, and because he was a fairly good price, I picked him up too. Although there are some small issues the figure has, and I'll get straight into that with detail. Maga-Jappa has a overall very good sculpt. I think the detailing on him is fantastic. There is nothing that is really skimped over in terms of how they sculpted the figure. Even his armor has some small details in it that look really good. As you can see, his tail looks like a giant octopus arm, and his arms and legs also have some suction cups on them. It's a little hard to see, but there you go, and on the arms too. Now, while the sculpt itself is very good, the paint job unfortunately is somewhat lacking. The overall front looks really good, but as soon as I turn him towards the back, it gets very dull very quickly. There's nothing on the inside of his wings. In fact, the entire backside has little to no paint whatsoever. It's mainly just the front and a little bit on the sides where you're going to get some paint job on here. I'd say the highlight is the face, which has to look good. If it didn't, I would be kind of disappointed. Unlike most Ultra figures though, the claws are not painted. They are just the base red color that the figure is, which is kind of disappointing. But overall, I would say it doesn't look too bad. I have definitely seen worse cases where Bandai has skimped out more on the paint jobs. Unfortunately, however, articulation is also fairly basic. If I bring him close up, his legs move and his arms can swivel left to right. They don't really even go up and down. It's more so just they go side to side, but that doesn't look too menacing. And that's the only articulation points he has, just those four. I'm not saying they could have done a ton with this. The head itself would have been very difficult to make a joint, but I still think it could have been possible. And the tail definitely could have been one. There's even a glue seal up here, but they could have just made that a normal articulation joint. I'm not exactly sure why, especially on these early DX figures, the articulation was so limited, but 4 is probably about as bare bones as you can get, so I guess I can take it. As for sizing, we'll compare him next to my last review first, which is Alien Barbaru. Again, I still have no idea really how to pronounce that name. I'm sorry. The one really good thing I can say about the figure is that the sizing is at least pretty nice. In the show, he is taller than Ultraman, and this is probably about as close of an Ultra as I got on me at the moment. He was a little bit taller than this. I would say that this is probably closer to how big he was, but still, it being a taller figure helps in this case. Next, I will compare him to one of my last DX reviews, and if I move him a little bit back, because this is a fairly big monster. This is Zegan. I actually did not expect this. They're roughly the same height, and Maga-Jappa is actually a tad bit taller. In that case, moving them closer, I would definitely say they still look pretty good next to each other. Really good comparison though. I like the way they look together. And just for a what the hell comparison, here's your average Ultra Monster figure to kind of give you a somewhat more fair comparison. This is Gamora, a figure that I've been pulling out quite a lot recently, and yeah, this is primarily why. Gamora is a very standard Ultra Monster, so comparing him next to these bigger DX figures gives you a rough idea of how large he is. Thank you, Cat, for jumping in the way. Gamora is about as tall, if not a little bit taller than Ultraman, so this works fairly well. And that's the review of Maga-Jappa for you. This is a fairly cool monster. I like his design a lot, although there are quite a few things I think Bandai could have done better with him though. Mainly the paint and articulation, just because both of them could have been better, and yet they're very basic. I would say the paint is actually more so negative than basic, because this right here is just, you know, what the hell, Bandai. The articulation though, 4 points is about as basic as you can get, which is fine. I'll take basic over bad any day of the week. And the sizing is probably the biggest compliment I can give the figure. It actually looks pretty good. Overall, I would say if you can find him for like $30 to $40, definitely pick him up. He's pretty good. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.